I'm Latanya, and I'm just saying. This is a new podcast, guys, that I want to bring to you. I want to talk about a lot of different things. I want to talk about the business going from just an everyday person to just how the world of a CEO, the world of a caregiver, the world of just things happening in my life because everybody seems to be invested. We're going to talk about the good stuff, the bad stuff, and the ugly stuff. And I'm going to have you guys just kind of go with me as we navigate what it's like in my world. I'm going to take it all back to the beginning. And when I go back to the beginning, guys, I used to think of the beginning as a very painful place, but now I don't. I look at my life with all the things that I've gone through in my life, they've shaped me become who I am. And there was a time in my life I used to be so afraid to let everybody know exactly how bad and how rough it was. I didn't realize that one day those stories I would get to share and I would get to tell, and it would motivate and it would help so many people. To get to who I am, I guess it would have to go to the beginning. And the beginning was growing up, and everybody, I've shared this, just kind of dirt poor and not having a whole lot. But what I found throughout my journey is I kept thinking, guys, that I was poor and I was just, it was rough. And then what I realized though, and in those moments we found laughter. And so I think for me, the beginning, what I don't share a lot of is how much laughter shaped the beginning of my life. And so I sit before you now as someone who has gone through so much, and I'm here to share with other people that you can go through all those things and you can still come out a little roughed up, but okay. One of the things that's so funny when I look back over my life, I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance. There's a few people I still will not accept their friend requests. They used to kick me out of talent shows because I did not have that thing. I thought that thing would always be something that was just so visible. I had no idea when my cousins would get ready to play football, they would come and get me and say, "Hey, Tanya, we know you don't play football, but can you pick out the team for us?" And I'd be like, "Oh, get him because of this person, get this person because of this person." I had no idea that those were leadership skills that would someday have me in the position that I'm in. So I now know that, and for those of you that are out there that don't understand this, there are some things that are inside of you already that is going to be the catalyst to take you to great heights. You just don't know it because right now we're in this world of everything shiny, everything looking perfect. You don't even understand that sometimes the things that you have inside of you are already helping you. As for me, I knew how to cook, I knew how to clean, and I knew how to take care of people. So for me, I didn't know that then, but that was going to be the thing that changed the trajectory of my life. If you don't really know exactly what you want to do, sometimes I think you just got to be still. I think when I say be still, I mean listen to that little voice that's inside of you. There were so many points in my life that I would listen to all these people and they would kind of tell me, "Hey, Tanya, you should do this or you should do that." And when things started happening for me is when I started looking within myself. There is so much. Just sit in silence. Just be quiet. Just be cool. Just sit there and just think about what truly brings me joy. The joy that I get from taking care of my brother, the joy that I get from taking care of my sister who's been on dialysis when I would do things for her and seeing her light up. The joy of me caring for other people has been the joy that's now carrying me. So I think if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, and also too, guys, fuck up. I'm sorry, am I supposed to say that? But you gotta sometimes you just gotta fuck up. You gotta mess up. You gotta mess up. And this is the truth. I think in me messing up so much and being okay with messing up, I think the lessons in messing up are the lessons that have carried me. So you cannot be afraid. And you can't, you know what else true? I'm gonna say this. The one thing I think for me is I'm okay if I look like a fool. Nobody wants to look foolish. Everybody wants to look like they got it together. I'm okay if my hair ain't done. I'm okay with being not okay. And I say it. And I think there are so many people. Let me say this too. Just because you post a lot Don't stop thinking that's a bad thing. There are so many people that want to write stuff on social media, but they are so afraid of being judged or being people gonna judge you anyway. I don't care. You don't gotta write nothing. It's somebody still judging you. They judging you when you're in Starbucks getting coffee. They talking about this. So once you start to accept that those are things that are just natural parts of life, they gonna judge you. So for me, I think you gotta just not be afraid. Be who you are. Be who and whatever you want to be, but know that if you're not like everybody else, that's okay too. It's okay. Child. If I talk about how many times I've messed up, probably I can let me tell y'all. First off, I've always thought that I had all the answers, but you realize that you don't. And every time I messed up, I used to always beat myself up so bad. And then you just, after it's over with, there's something that my grandmother always told me that I live my life by. She said to me every single day, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. And I promise you, that big thing that you think is just like the end of the world, it's gonna pass. And then every time I would mess up, I'll talk. I'll go back to just growing up. When you grow up in the hood, and I'm just being honest, there's a world that you just don't even know. You're ignorant to a lot of things. And so when I would date a guy, I always thought that okay, it had to be some street guy, somebody doing this, somebody doing that. And when you realize that in those moments that I tried to date people who shared a story like mine. I'm gonna be honest, I was embarrassed, y'all. I didn't think there were good guys growing up. And I would look at them and I would be like, oh God, they're going to find out that I don't have money. They're going to find out that my mom's an alcoholic. They're going to find out that I'm not this person. So I think there's a lot of us that are like that. We hide behind like the scars and messing up. And so it caused me to date the worst of the worst. Like I picked bad boys because I thought I was bad. I think what you do, guys, and when you mess up, you date a reflection of yourself. You date something that's empty inside of you. And so you can relate to this person. I can relate to dating this guy because look, he's poor, I'm poor, he's from the hood, I'm from the hood. And I think that I wish for people to know that the people that are unlike you are going to be the people that you're going to learn the most things from. So don't be afraid to mess up. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, I didn't even know that I didn't even know what I liked. I just was so afraid to say or that people would find out about things that I had gone through in my past. And I think if you live like that, to me, it took a long time to get here. And if y'all listen to me, you don't have to wait till you're 50 to get. For me, I think, and this is advice I used to always give my daughters and her friends, is find something that feeds your soul and feeds your pockets. If I talk about the journey of getting into an assisted living facility, guys, I got to be honest with you. I stumbled into this business because I hit rock bottom in life. And I don't know about y'all, but when you hit rock bottom and you got a pocket full of money, that's a different kind of bottom because money wasn't the issue. The issue for me was mental. It was the mental things that I had gone through, not feeling appreciated, not being loved by my family, feeling like I'm the go to for everybody that I can't go to. That's how I felt. And so I hit this bottom in my life. And when I hit that bottom in my life, I just started to think about the one person that meant the most to me. And that was my grandmother. And her words just kept echoing in my head. And she said that God put me on this earth to care for people. And she said, you keep running from what God made you. And so in those moments, it was so bad, y'all, that I used to sit in a closet. I used to sit in a closet and just pray. I was at rock bottom and just think about every moment of the times that I talked to my grandmother and her telling me that, Tanya, you need to find the core of who you are is a caregiver. And I didn't want to look at life like that because I kept thinking that that was horrible to have to take care of people, hear their problems, fix everybody. And something just said, finally, you know what? Let me tap into who my grandmother said I was because she's the one person that I always believed. And so from that moment, I said, I'm just going to try to open up an assisted living facility. And when I start telling everybody I was doing it, everybody thought I was crazy. But that's what started that journey. I wanted to still take care of people, but this time I needed people who could take care of me too. I think that I needed, and I said this before, I needed a reciprocal kind of love, something where I would get something back. And so that's how this journey began. If I'm going to talk about the first few years of owning an assisted living facility, y'all, it was the hardest and happiest moment of my life. And sometimes hard and happy go together. I remember sitting with my first resident. I got my first resident. I opened up during the pandemic because I'm a little crazy. And we were sitting there, and she was very independent. And that's one of the reasons why I thought, since I don't have any experience in this, the first resident that I'm going to get, I wanted somebody that was independent. So I was taking care of my resident. We were sitting on a couch. We had just had dinner, and she could, when I got her, she could go to the bathroom on her own, because that was one of my fears. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I ain't want to clean the poop. And so we were sitting there, and she used the bathroom all over herself. And in that moment, I remember going to the bathroom, and I remember throwing up, and I remember that I had to take care of her. So when I came back, I got myself together. I told her no worries. I wanted her to feel comfortable. I took her in the bathroom, and the water, I remember this so clear, but there was water just kind of coming down. And the water was getting on me, and she was sitting in the chair, and she was a nurse, so she started to cry. And she said, Tanya, you know, it's rough when you get older. And I told her, don't worry about it. I got you. And in that moment, was the defining moment in doing this. Is she said to me, she said, Tanya, she's 87, and she said, a family member, my dad, molested me. And I remember the water just now pouring on both of us. And I knew then this was my business. And she said, I've never told anybody that. For 87 years, I've held this in. And here I am, because I've been touched too soon, too. And I was like, okay, God, you've given me my people. And I knew that I just got to take care of her. So I knew then that I needed her and she needed me. So I was like, okay. And I was happy that in that moment, she was able to express herself and get it out. And I was able to tell her that it was okay. So I think when you're trying to find your dream, sometimes you're going to have to tap into those dark places of yourself. For me, I had no idea that that moment I would be tapping into that those things that happened to me when I was young. Don't be afraid of that. So for me, I just was like, I felt that she needed me and I needed her. And I remember getting her dressed, doing her hair, and doing all those things, and just thinking to myself, I got her, and that she trusts me to be able to, out of all the people in the world, she chose to tell me that story. And it helped me, and it was humbling. And so I knew that day that I'd do this for the rest of my life. I always forget about this resident. I never forget about her, but I don't talk about this out in the open. But I did have a resident, my next resident, she was probably my third or fourth resident. She came to me, and I got ready to change her, and she screamed so loud. And I was like, why are you screaming? And because she was normally pretty calm. And she says, I've never been touched by a black person before. And I was like, that took me back, because I was thinking, well, why are you here with me? I'm an African American woman. And she says, because there's so many good stories I've heard about black people when they take care of people. And so she said, I'm afraid. She was touching my skin. And in that moment, I saw that she was crying. So I realized that this was real painful for her. And she said, I grew up in a place where, she said, I was like 24 years old before I had ever seen a black person. And I was like, wow. She said, but I had heard all these stories. And then she moved to another place. And she said, but then all the black people were nice to me. Like she said, but I wouldn't get so close to them. It was fear, and nobody knew that I had that fear. And so to know that this woman is with me, and she touching my skin. And at first, I'm not going to lie, you guys, I was getting ready to call her family and say, this isn't going to work. This just to, because of, she's afraid of me because I'm black. One day we just sitting there talking, and she gave me a hug, and I could feel her body kind of shaking. And she said, she just held me, and she said, Tanya, thank you. Because even though I'm afraid, you're still taking such good care of me. And me saying that, you're not saying I'm prejudiced. And I didn't think it was prejudice. And I just thought she was ignorant. She didn't know, and that people in her family taught her to be that way. And once we got to know each other, she had me listening to classical music, and she had me eating different foods. For the first time, y'all, I tried pumpkin pie. Pumpkin, we called it pumpkin, but it was pie. I tried some pumpkin pie. I was used to sweet potato pie, and I just felt like that in this world that there are sometimes that the differences make us. And the differences doesn't have to be good or bad. The differences doesn't have to be, oh, she's this horrible person, because people taught her these things. She got to know me for herself. She laughed, we cried, we had so much fun. And I remember when she passed away, she was transitioning, and she only wanted me. So I'm glad that on her way out and on her way to the next life or passing away, that she got to experience and understand that just because of skin color, I wasn't going to hurt her. So that's one of those things that I think that really, really, I think about all the time, that people don't even understand that sometimes the fear stops people from truly like living, and the fear causes people to judge. So that's one of the lessons that I've learned, and I just try my best not to judge. One of the things in this industry, I've accepted that as an owner of an assisted living facility, you have to accept the fact that people are coming to you to die. And I will tell you something, that life looks a lot different on your way out than it did on your way in. And so many times, residents always say to me, they wish they had done more things that brought them joy. They wish they had been more selfish. They wish they didn't have to worry about a lot of the things that they worried about. They stressed over bills, they stressed over finances, they stressed over their kids. A common theme is, I wish I had spent more time for me. I wish, because in the end, guys, it's just you. It's not your kids. It's not any of those things. It is just you. And so my residents, what a lot of them, one of my residents, he told me, it was so funny. He said that he feels, and this was funny. He said, Tanya, I spent so much time in my life trying to like worry about everybody else and not myself. And he goes, now that's why sometimes I just want to walk around with no clothes on. I've never been able to do that, because we were always going to his room saying, you got to put clothes on. And he's like, no, I never did this. I'm 93. I just want to walk around in my room and not have to ever put on any clothes. And what I took that to mean is, he's never felt free. And so you want to do things that make you feel free. Don't let anybody make you think, and I'm gonna get in trouble when I say this, but I don't care. I think too many from my residents, their stories telling me that they wish they hadn't pushed their kids too hard, because they thought growing, a lot of the people that I'm taking care of are in their 80s and 90s, and that back then it was all about go to school, go to school, go to school, go to school. And so many of them projected their fears onto their children, and they wish they hadn't done that. So if you're listening, don't do that. If your kid tells you that they want to be something, you got to let them do it. I'm learning that the hard way myself, and just not trying to push your kids too hard. And that leads me into building my business, building my brand, and building my person. And that's why I want to do this podcast, guys. Show people that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to go from tough circumstances and use those things. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I was talking to this dude the other day, and he said, Tanya, I did 10 years in prison for selling drugs. I was like, okay, let's talk about it. You know how to count money. You know how to be on the lookout for people. You don't even know that that life of crime now can work in your favor in business. You got this sense about how to deal with people. He was like, I ain't never thought about it like that. I said, that's all the world is business. That's what life is a business. You got a head start, because you are so many times I think people, to me, they look at the things that they think are negative about the things, their journey, and that's what holds them back. But those are the things for me that pushes me forward. Growing up, sometimes not being able to have food, guess what? I can feed everybody off a loaf of bread and some meat. I will turn it into a delicatessen, okay? So you already have skills that are inside of you to be who you're supposed to be. And I think I have a girlfriend that's real quiet and she's such a great listener. And I've been telling her for the longest, I'm like, girl, you need to be a therapist. You need to be a psychologist. You need to be this. And the other day she said, you know what, Tanya? I'm gonna go and get like my degree in psychology because I said so that quality that she had of listening to people. She's the friend that you call 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, girl, I need a bat. I need you to come get me. I'm getting ready to burst out these windows. She's the friend like, oh, hold up. And she will calm you down. She will talk you. So for me, she already has a skill set. Everybody has something inside of them that can work for their good, that can turn into business and can turn into money. I done took cleaning shit to a whole nother level, okay? Now, and most people would say and go, what? How could you do that? It's because I have made peace with those parts of me, even the ugly parts of me, and I'm using them for my good. And I think that's what you have to be. There are some people that you got it in you. You just keep thinking that you don't because on social media it says do something else. I never thought that I would be taking care of seniors. I never thought that I'll be getting ready to open up my seventh facility just because I've already got that skill set of cleaning shit, hearing shit, taking shit. And so it's only right that I have turned all of those things into a business. So, I mean, I'm just saying, you don't have to take my advice, but you should because look at what you're good at. I know a guy, he is so good, y'all. I'm just being real. He can make some breakfast. He can't cook nothing else in this world, but he can make some breakfast, some eggs and some pancakes like nobody's business. And I told him the other day, I said, open up a little shop, just do breakfast. And he just giggled. And I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. You already know how to do that. So that's that thing that everybody has something in them, but you can't. My grandma used to say this. She'd say, "You can't get." She said, what you eat ain't gonna make me shit." And what she was trying to say, what you do that has nothing to do with me. And I apply all of those things to life, and I think everybody else should. I hope everybody's motivated because I'm gonna tell y'all something that I apply all the time. But my life did not change until I started monitoring what I put in my mouth changed what came out of my mouth. And I know people don't understand that, but the minute that I started to say, okay, I have to eat a little bit healthier. I have to focus on myself from the inside and truly looking at my body as a vessel so that I can do other things. And that's another thing that people don't realize. But even the conversations you have with people, let me tell y'all something. I got a friend that I stopped talking to. She said, why we ain't friends no more? Because she's not feeding that part of me to make me better. I don't even want to trauma bond with nobody no more. I realize that there are so many people that you don't even get it. You think this your best buddy. You think she's the best friend in the world. But listen to the conversations y'all have. If all your conversations are about her, this negative thing, and now you're talking negative, people feed you. And I had to realize that. I had this friend that I would brag on her. I'd be like, we've been best friends for 30 years. She my ride or die. She this or that. But the minute things got happy for me, guess what? We don't talk that much. Because some people need you to be in a bad state. That's what it's a trauma bond, and that's just not some fancy word. The trauma is what's bonding you. So when I started letting go of the trauma that I have with people, when I started letting go of the foods and the things that kept me not feeling my best, and when I start watching the conversations I have with myself, y'all, I wake up every morning, I be like, girl, you look good. I'm talking about, I ain't even brushed my teeth yet, and I'm saying I look good. You got to know you look good. You got to feel you look good, because then the other people can't break you. People break people because they're projecting how they are onto you. I did a post the other day, and they were on the post talking about girl this, girl that. And I'm like, y'all, please, this ain't nothing to do with me. I'm telling y'all, block should be your best friend. The block button, block. I don't got to respond to that. Girl, keep it moving. And that is the thing that I think people don't understand. Watching what I put in my mouth, watching the conversations that I have, and get your negative ass up the road. If you calling me and you negative, oh, I used to do this. It's funny. I would have certain family members calling me. I start telling them my problem before they could get out what they want. I know. I see the number. I'm like, oh Lord. Hey, I'm struggling a little bit. I can't. Okay, Tanya, I'll call you back. That's how it gets. But now you have to put your friends in a box. If they ain't feeding your soul, if you don't have a friend that you can go walk around and say, you know what, let's just go do something healthy. Let's eat something healthy. Let's talk about something healthy. Some of y'all ain't good friends. Let's just be real. You just able to, this person's in a worse situation than you. And it's making you feel good to be good friends with them. When I start realizing, I don't want people that low hanging fruit. Nah, baby. I don't want the low hanging fruit. I don't want the shit about to hit the ground. I want the people up here because they make me be higher because I got to go higher to reach them. You think about that. I gotta be higher to reach certain people. It's almost like you gotta talk to God if you want to get to me. And that means that's gonna eliminate a whole lot of people. And y'all know that. So for me, just changing my whole life, y'all, I ain't always been this person. But I've made peace with the person that I wasn't. I made peace with the Tanya that want to fight. I made peace with the Tanya that will want to kick ass and take names and just had an attitude. When you make peace with the ugly parts of yourself, success it's going to happen. And that's what people don't know. I've been a bad mofo. I just had to channel all that energy the right way. I've been her. It ain't on me, it's in me. I've been this person. But the minute I let go of that toxic stuff, the conversations I was having, the people I had around, your life gets better. I got a girlfriend, Charlene. I love her. You know why? I can call her and say, Charlene, I'm in the worst state. I just went through this. I just went through that. She's a friend that's going to say, baby, breathe. Breathe, Tanya. Breathe. Think. You're smart. She builds me up. That's the people you got to keep in your space, y'all. I will talk about this for a long time because people think that they have this circle of people that are good people, because I did, but they not. They're feeding the bad parts of you. They're feeding the bad parts. When you get the people that feed the good parts of you, you walk away from them feeling like, whew, dang, I can't wait to go have this date again. And that is what evolving feels like. It's only inevitable that I get to the bag. The money gonna come because I did all these other things. I did all these other things. What I expect of other people, I became. I want somebody to be a good mate to me, so I became a good mate. I want somebody to be a good friend to me. I became a good friend. I don't think I was a great mother at certain phases of my life, but I'm okay telling my kids that, you know? So I think to be the best, you yourself have to be the best. And the money gonna come. And it's gonna come. And you gonna make a lot of money. And you gonna make a lot of money. Fuck 'em. I'm just saying. At the end of every episode, we are going to go into the I'm just saying. And the I'm just saying, guys, is anything that you want to say. And there is not going to be any script. It's just whatever advice that you can say that you think would help someone else. Like today, y'all already know, y'all on my page and everybody's watching, that right now I'm in a very tough season in my marriage, in my relationship. And I want to talk about that because people want you to feel bad. None of us know, how things are going to end up. And it is okay to be in a relationship. And what I've learned, I'm just going to keep it real, guys, is that communication in a relationship is key. Being able to talk, being able to have open and honest dialogue, and not feeling like if I do this, the world is going to judge me or people are going to make fun of my relationship. And one of the biggest things is nobody cares if you stay or if you go. I think that people get so caught up, including myself, you let things that happen in your relationship and you think that they defined you. But in order for you to have a successful relationship, in my opinion, you have to be a good individual first. If I become the best me that I can be, and then my husband becomes the best him that he can be, and then we now are operating on a frequency where it brings us together. But one thing you can't shy away from is your past and your pain and the things that you've gone through in your relationship. So many people are afraid. They want to stay together, but they're scared if they do that the world will judge them. And there are some people that are afraid to leave because they're afraid of they can't the money or this or that. You have to do what's best for you. And I think that that's my advice on relationships is just stop letting people make you feel that you are inadequate, or if you feel a certain way about your relationship, what will they say? What are they going to do? I'm just saying, you can't be always worried about people. Do what feeds you. And one of the biggest mistakes that I think people make in business is everybody wants to be the teacher. Don't nobody want to be the student. I am forever the student. And I think that that comes from me always being willing and open to know okay with what I don't know. Sometimes you got to walk in a room and be willing to absorb the information that people are giving you. Whatever room I walk in, there's something that I'm going to walk away from that room. I can sit and talk to my staff. I don't think you should wear titles on your sleeve. I think that always be willing and ready to get some information. Nowadays, I think because everything is so fast, everything is chat GPT, and people will run to chat GPT and be like, okay, and then they think that makes them an expert. And I don't think that people understand that a lot of times things should come and happen organically. I didn't know anything about running an assisted living facility. So everywhere I went, I was a student. And I think nobody wants to be the student. Everybody wants to be the teacher. And I would talk to people who failed. You know what? I started going out and talking to people who once had an ALF. I said, okay, you had this business and it didn't work. Tell me what didn't work. So I did it in reverse. I didn't want to go to all the nice facilities. I wanted to talk to the people who said, I tried it and it wasn't for me. Well, tell me, why wasn't it for you? What was it about the industry that didn't work for you? And I think that's a lot of times that sometimes talk to the person that sucked at the business, because they're going to give you some insight that other people may not give you. You always have to be the student. You always have to be okay with saying, hey, I don't know. And hey, and also too, I'm good at saying, I didn't know that. I might know a little something, but I didn't know that. And I'm open to feedback. Feedback is so critical and nobody wants to take it. If it's uncomfortable for people a lot of times to get feedback, you can't grow with what you don't know. You will never grow. So I think for me, when people say, hey, wow, you've done this in 5 years, I'm still a student. I'm still learning. I'm learning from the girl who does my podcast. I come here and talk to her. She tells me things and I walk away with it and I'm like, oh, wow, thank you, Megan. Now I could do this. Now I could. It's just different things. And I'll say this before we close this. Listen to the small voices. Listen to the quiet, subtle voices. You will meet people. Like I met Megan and she said, she didn't even know this. She said, you got that thing. And I was like, what thing? And that was a quiet voice. This quiet voice, this person who is coming to meet me, it's business. And even in business, she fed me something that I went, wow, okay, I can do this. I've been talking about a podcast, but I needed her to say, let's do it. And that is me going to segue into stay with the doers. Stay with the doers. There's times where I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not responding. I'm not this. I like stay around the doers. The doers help make you. She's like, no, we're going to do it this day. We can do it that day. I can show this. I can show that. And that changed that little bit. She don't even know it, but that changed me. Because I was like getting in my car like, oh, shit. Dang. Okay, Megan, I can do this. We're talking about something totally different. And she saw in me that, girl, there's something. You got this thing. So listen to the quiet voices. Listen to the lady in the line that says, oh my gosh, I love your smile. Oh my God, I feel like God puts people in your path to give you those little voices to help push you into greatness. And she didn't even know that she did that for me. Find the people that fan your flames and let those flames, let them grow. Find those people. And those are your people. And you don't even know who your people are. Those are your people. Those quiet voices that tell you, hey, wow, nice hair, nice this. Oh, you did that. Oh, you got this. And you find those people along the way. Don't dismiss them because those are your people. 2026, what you guys can expect is authenticity. I promise to be genuine. I promise to give you guys a little piece of me. I promise to listen. I promise to open give us a platform to where we can talk about things without there being any judgment. I think what's missing in the world is humility. I want to bring people on this podcast that when you get off the podcast, you can walk away with something. I think that there are people in this world that we're going to be sitting and talking with that they're going to shape you. I promise to find the doers of the world, the people that are actually doing it. This podcast, we're going to talk about things that are going to make us uncomfortable because I think that's how you grow. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about unlearning a lot of the things that we think we know or don't know. We're going to talk about things where you failed. I don't think that people understand that there are going to be some people that I sit on this couch with that, guys, they may not have had success. They may be a person that failed at something. I want to show the world that we can take all of these things and everybody can grow. I think the I'm Just Saying podcast, it's going to touch your soul. We're going to make you giggle. We're going to help you get some money. I think a lot of y'all want to figure out how do you get to the bag. And getting to the bag sometimes is removing a lot of your bags, removing a lot of the things that burden you, the stress, the guilt, the shame. In order to get to the bag, you got to release some of your bags. And I think that weight, it carries people, it weighs you down. I was holding on to so many bags. The bags of my childhood, the bags of trauma, all of that. But when I remove those bags and make peace with those bags, now I'm in the store shopping with the real bag. And those are some of the things that I want to help people get to. So the I'm Just Saying podcast, y'all, this ain't just your regular podcast. This is a movement. This is a safe space. This is a place where it's going to make people grow. We ain't just talking the talk. We actually applying it. I want to teach you guys something somebody just taught me, how to breathe. Y'all do know I don't even know how to breathe. I got apps on my phone. I'm in the middle of traffic. I'm doing some stuff where it's like, y'all don't even understand that. Helping people be less anxious. And this place will be a place where you will be okay with saying you ain't okay. That's what I really want to let people know, that there is someone that looks like them, that talks like them, that done been through some things, that can help people get to the other side. And it may not be money. It may be just a place where you can go and say, you know what? Damn, I just got off that podcast and now I know how to breathe. I want to give you guys the simplicity, the simple things in life. So join us. We're going to be doing this podcast. It's going to be good. So stay with me. Follow my journey because I'm just getting started. I'm just saying.